You know, both teams, played hard. I think they outplayed us in the first half, and they were like more physical, and they just outplayed us. They worked harder. They had more effort, and I told the guys that at halftime, and told them it was on them. I could yell at them all day till I turn blue, but they have to man up, and I think they did that in the second half. I think hats off to the Magic. They played really hard, and I think we matched that intensity, which I'm proud of.
How did you find ways to break their press and eventually come back and turn the game around into your favor?
Well, I mean, I knew it was going to be a little bit of a struggle because it was going to be the first team that really pressed us. We worked on it, most of shoot around this morning and just went through all the options, and even we went game speed also. So I knew we knew what to do, but it was going to be new for them. And I think just the point of just getting out quick and not being afraid. I told them I'd rather you make an aggressive mistake than a timid mistake.
And second half, this is like the second straight game where you guys come out with a lot of high energy. Was that the response you were looking for in the second half? Just high energy, high volume?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of things, this game, I told them at halftime, I could draw up a lot of plays and tricks and gimmicks, and it looks cute, but a lot of it comes down to your energy, your positive energy, and not letting negative energy get into the bench or into your game. So I think they came out collectively as a group. They took amongst themselves to come out with great energy, and it worked.
And the last one for me, it just seemed like towards the tail end of the fourth quarter, you saw a lot of cute passing that kind of changed your face of frustration a little bit. Just how do you fix those things for the next game coming up here?
I mean, you tell me. I'm telling you, like, I actually got on Trevor after the game, and everybody laughed. But on a serious note, like, that can cost you a game. So we have to learn from that. We got a young group that still thinks they're at the park sometime and just playing with their friends. But, I mean, they got to win, so I can't complain too much.
Speaking of a young group, a very energetic group, emotional, talk about dealing with that and trying to find that balance between being emotional, using it for energy, and emotional negative. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, so our mantra's been stay present. We huddle up and say that, and I talk to them guys all the time about that, and I feel like that, I actually yelled at Lou about that. I said, stay present, and he knows what that means, because that means be in the present moment and not worry about what just happened and the foul and she didn't call or he didn't call this. Like, be in the present moment, because once you get out of that present moment and you start thinking this and that, then that's when you get emotional. And we got to have emotional control. So I talk to these guys about that all the time, and some of our key players, sometimes they still get too emotional where it can get negative, and that can hurt you. So it's something that we preach, and the staff preaches every day with these guys, and I think they're starting to grow.
Willie and Ray's development, I know I talk about this every once in a while. It seemed like today they were even more aggressive, developing a lot more. What does that do each game out for your team and your players around them?
It's big. I mean, like Willie and Ray, they are anchors. They hold down the paint. And sometimes I feel bad because they don't get enough touches. I mean, we have a guard-heavy team, and obviously the Vipers, we shoot a lot of threes and play fast. But they're our anchor. I mean, you've seen Willie made some big plays down the stretch of the game, which, I mean, I was happy to see. We had a talk before the game, so I told him he needed to get a double-double, and he did. And Ray, I mean, he's Ray. I mean, he's so talented, such a great teammate, and he's a hell of a player. I mean, he's an NBA player, in my opinion.
Where do you stand early in the season? You talked about, it's early still, but you talked about sometimes the players wanting to get their own, being a little selfish. Where do they stand right now as far as improving on that, doing more teamwork, and when do they have the green light to do a little more one-on-one?
Well, I think I'm going to keep that green light in my pocket because, I've learned a couple of these games. I gave them too much green, and then they went a little crazy. But I would say this, they're learning and they're growing. I mean, I think we had 22 assists yesterday, today. And then the last game, I think we had 22 to 25. Our goal is to get 25 every game. So we're learning. We're getting better at passing, but it's still, there's times we hold the ball too much, and that's when we get stagnant. So I think it's going to be a process. Some of these guys have never played this way, moving the ball constantly and moving their bodies. They've always been the guy that hold the ball and make a play. So we got multiple guys who have a lot of talent out there, so we just got to share the floor and share the ball.
What's been the last question? What's been the most inspiring, exciting thing to see during this win streak?
The tough wins, the tough wins. Like, everybody wants to win by 40 and 50, and it frustrates you when you know you have more and you leave it out on the table and like, we could have won by this or that. But then you sit back and just kind of zoom out and say, wait, this was a tough win. That being resilient is important, especially when it comes down the stretch. And there's going to be teams just as talented as us, or even better, that we have to win these tough games. So that's been the most, I guess, gratifying or exciting thing, is just to have these tough wins and the guys pull through.
At the beginning, you said you wanted Warriors. That's kind of what they're developing first before a lot of the other aspects of the game.
No question. Elite competitors. That's what I say. If you're not an elite competitor, then I don't want to coach you. So I think these guys are developing today, and they're tough kids.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.